So I'm going to crank straight into things. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm doing this solo today, so I don't have any support team working with me. If you can hear me okay, give me a thumbs up in chat. Let me know that you're here with me, that you can see my screen. You should be able to see creating world-class experiences with the Microsoft Digital Contact Center platform. So welcome. My name is Mark Smith. I work at IBM, and I'm part of IBM Consulting, and I work across Australia and New Zealand. And this webinar is really designed for all the people living in Australia and New Zealand that work in contact centers. And to really give you kind of an update of where things are going and the state of play from Microsoft's perspective when it comes to their offerings in the contact center space. And if we look at these stats that I'm about to show, the state of play as in research out there, you can see customer service directly impacts business performance. If we just look at a couple of these, 83% agree that great service can turn a ho-hum customer into a lifetime customer. 96% leave a business if you deliver poor customer service. 180% market share growth for customers obsessed companies. Those companies are always working on and being obsessive about how can they improve the experience of their customers. And then there's that $7 billion impact for those organizations that can solve on a first customer interaction the problem that the customer has. Why is it that so many of us, when we interact with customer service in an organization, that we don't get these amazing experiences, that we get disjointed experiences? I want you to think back to the last time you provided a support call. Now, interestingly, I have a situation that happened just last night. And mine was extremely positive. It was about 7:30 p.m. I have a robotic lawnmower that goes out and mows my lawns automatically. It mows all night, mows in the day, and it keeps my lawns looking schmick. The power block that keeps the unit charged when it goes back to dock failed. And so I reached out to the company that's become their distributor in New Zealand, where I'm based, and they had a little chat agent on their website. So I was like, now, I didn't expect anybody to respond, right? I thought this will be a next day activity. They'll grab my email address and say, hey, someone will get in touch. Lo and behold, I post my message. Within seconds, I can see the 3 dots going on screen, and somebody messages me back and answers my questions, etc., satisfactorily, that it solved what I was looking for straight away. Great customer experience. Now, my comment to them was, what are you doing working after hours, right? As in, I know they're New Zealand-based staff. I know it was 7:30 odd at night. The customer experience world has changed, right? People don't only go online and ask for support during 9 to 5 business hours. It's a 24/7 operation nowadays. The thing is, although these data shows what we would like, a lot of organizations are not delivering this, right? Their systems are not built to satisfy customers. They have disconnected experiences. A customer might want to engage through an SMS or a chatbot, but that chatbot doesn't carry through to the voice system, or doesn't carry through to the email system, or the organization, a major bank that I was engaged on recently, email was the only way they took support. And I'm like, email, like, are we living 20 years ago? That would be the last method of support I would want to play nowadays, because one, that email, when it comes into most organizations, unless you have AI running now, that email comes in and has to be categorized. It has to be queue managed. It has to be understood by somebody eyeballing and reading it, right? In other words, the minute somebody enters either on a form capture and that data becomes dumb, it now has to be made intelligent again, generally by a human. And that's really wasted time these days. So you can see this disconnect experience. It decreases engagement and brand loyalty. Then you've got your customer service agent, right? Over the last 4 to 5 years, all customer service agents, not all, it's a great number, have now moved to working from home, right? They're no longer just in a massive football stadium size facility of call center operators all on the line, even though I'm going to show you some videos of that scenario today. They're not all in one room. You can't just hear all the conversations. If you're managing those staff, you need to have better tools to engage. And the thing is that when you have staff turnover in the contact center, there's a training cost, right, to get them up to speed on all the different disparate systems that are in play. And then ultimately, higher operational costs, right? If you've got siloed data set, if you've got multi-vendor systems in play that all do their thing really well, but they're not collaborating and sharing that data into a single experience or making it visible to management to make informed business decisions, you're going to be dealing with higher operational costs. What I want to do is show you a quick video of what good modern customer service could look like. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear the audio.
Meet Claudia. She loves the Smart Brew coffee machine she bought from Contoso Coffee. She also has a subscription for coffee pods and wants to switch the pod flavors. She logs into the company portal and interacts with a chatbot that's powered by next-generation AI. Just pointing the chatbot to specific websites and internal knowledge base enables it to provide Claudia the flavor options with no additional authoring. Claudia selects dark roast, and the chatbot updates her subscription. Then she asks about mineral buildup on her coffee machine. Based on historical data, the chatbot knows this issue results in better CSAT when it's handled by a live agent. The AI-powered routing engine considers factors such as customer sentiment, estimated effort, agent skills and availability, then connects Claudia with Enrico, who is trained to address Smart Brew machine issues. Enrico gets a holistic view of the customer and case details, along with an inbox on his multi-session workspace. He can see his customer cases in the left panel, timeline and engagement in the middle panel, and AI and collaboration tools in the right panel. With AI infused at every step, Enrico is empowered to provide a fast resolution. He reaches out to Claudia on chat and clicks on Copilot in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Customer Service to get a fast response. Copilot uses generative AI to search knowledge articles, internal documents, and SharePoint links, then suggests a response. Enrico can verify the source, then copy over the suggested response, making any edits needed, saving him valuable time. Their conversation is transcribed, and trained AI models provide highly accurate, qualitative metrics such as real-time sentiment. After reviewing the steps, Claudia has a follow-up question on warranty replacement. Enrico feels the concern is best addressed by elevating to a video call. Contoso coffee agents can switch channels seamlessly based on customer choice. Enrico talks with Claudia to ensure her that he understands the concern. He doesn't know the answer to her warranty question, so he quickly initiates a support swarm. In the swarm, AI automatically adds specialists from across the company. They see Enrico's question in Microsoft Teams and respond that it is indeed covered. Enrico confirms the warranty coverage to Claudia, then closes the call and includes a quick feedback survey in the chat. Claudia is satisfied with the service experience and provides a 5-star rating. Enrico's manager reviews all the feedback and gets a dashboard view of AI-driven customer channel and conversational analytics. She can review individual agents' performance and identify emerging issues, improve metrics such as first call resolution and CSAT. This helps her run the business fast and lean. With easy-to-use admin tools, she can quickly deploy a simplified, modern service infrastructure. Microsoft Dynamics 365 Customer Service enables Contoso Coffee to personalize the service experience, make work more effortless for agents, and optimize service operations.
Okay, you're probably going, well, hey, that's a nice little, use case. Wait till I show you 2 actual customer stories towards the end of the session. But I often get questions like, how does Microsoft have the authority in the space? What do they know about contact centers? If we take a look at the history of where Microsoft comes from, it's actually 20 years of contact center experience. Back in 2003, they came out with the customer care framework. As that was built on, in 2010, we had CCA, the Customer Care Accelerator, 2012, the Customer Center Desktop. Some of you might have worked with these technologies over time. I got involved around 2014 around the Unified Service Desk, USD, and was involved in deploying that to large financial institutions in Australia, as well as others in the financial sector. In 2022, last year, Microsoft then came to market with a digital contact center platform, which is really a holistic approach to looking at all the moving parts that make up a digital contact center or a cloud-based contact center in the modern world, but it created a way that existing contact centers could set out a pathway or a journey that they could go on to get to that point of adopting and providing the superior type customer experience. They looked at it from 4 persona types: the customer, What was the customer experience going to be around? How do we improve that? How do we get to that first call resolution smarter, better? How do we improve that brand loyalty? They looked at from the agent experience. Can we have a single pane of glass rather than siloed data sets and the agent having to hunt and find for the information they needed? It was precisely on screen the relative information they needed. And then if we move across there to the supervisor that, might be running hundreds of team members and even understanding like, when are the calls coming in all around a specific issue? Let's say it's a power outage or the last 10 calls that have come in are all people on the same street, road, etc. And they're getting that same experience. And therefore, this is a swarm around the same, if you like, problem area. And how can we best react once the solution is uncovered so that all agents can give the best response? And then from a service leader's perspective, they want tools that gives them deep insight to what is going on. How can we improve? How can we get into call deflection? How can we drive down the costs of every type of customer interaction and offer a better experience to our customers at the end of the day? And this is where AI comes into the mix. AI sets a stage for a new era of innovation. And the thing is that we've all heard about AI probably since around November last year. No, you've heard about it before then, but generative AI, right? Where ChatGPT came to market, and if you like, there was an inflection point, there was a change in how people thought about AI and how we can use AI. Well, the thing is, Microsoft was working on this long before those public announcements and what came to market. And particularly in the customer service area, they were working on voice AI. Right. And so what this comes to market now is what we call Copilot. So Dynamics 365, the core CRM system behind this technology, allows us to make the agent way more proficient, therefore giving better customer experience. It generates content. So you saw in that video example, it automatically extracted the key important things, provided them in the chat. You could follow up with an email after with that information, rather than the agent having to spend, in the cases that we're working with, over 30 minutes doing their closeout of a call and making sure everything's completed. It sparks creativity, right? All of a sudden, the agent gets presented ideas and solutions or ways to solve problems for customers that they perhaps hadn't been trained on or seen, but the generative AI has gone and indexed the data, understood how it applies to this nuanced situation that's been requested, and been able to give ideas to the agent how to engage. It's around automating tasks, right? When we looked at that whole email process that I talked about before, how much of that could be automated? How much could the person be abstracted away from it, and all the working, the integration, the data sets being brought together, and then the human with the co-pilot right alongside going, hey, here's the way to carry out this task in the most efficient way possible. It's around surfacing insights, right? Using the AI to uncover trends and patterns. Is there a knowledge bias article that's missing that if we wrote it, we could deflect more calls because it would give the correct answer, right? It's those surfacing of insights that really bring power. But let's have a look at it. Another example of that actually all coming together.
Copilot in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Customer Service transforms the support experience with generative AI. It empowers agents to easily leverage company knowledge sources and quickly generate optimized responses for customers in a single click. Copilot makes agents more productive and helps them deliver better customer experiences. Let's look at an example from Microsoft Azure, which uses Dynamics 365 Customer Service and has thousands of support engineers handling millions of requests every year. Ivan is a support agent at Microsoft. He answers complex questions on Azure sent via email. On his agent desktop, he sees the inbox to the left of the screen, and in the center, he can see all the relevant information and timeline for the case he's working on, including a case summary of the case provided by Copilot. He notices an email received from Claudia asking about a configuration issue with their Azure Kubernetes service cluster. Usually, responding to this kind of complex issue would take Ivan several minutes. He'd spend time searching through multiple knowledge articles, finding the relevant section that connects with the customer's specific issue, and then writing up a response to the customer. Today, he's using Copilot. Copilot expands on the right hand of his screen and helps him draft the perfect reply with just one click using generative AI. He can even provide custom prompts for the most complex cases. Copilot saves him time and helps him deliver high-quality service. Copilot knows all the context from trusted websites and Azure's internal data, including customer name and relevant knowledge articles, so Ivan doesn't have to spend time searching or typing. Now he just has to review the response. The draft looks great, and with one click, he copies it into the email editor and sends it out, feeling confident that his customer is receiving the prompt, friendly service they deserve. Soon after, Ivan sees an incoming call from another customer, Diane. The call appears on the left side of the screen. In the middle, he has the relevant information for his customer, and on the right, Copilot's ready to help him. Rather than searching on his own, he turns to Copilot for help, which uses generative AI to surface the latest information that's typically found across Azure's vast set of internal documents, including previously resolved case notes and published knowledge articles. Having already saved time researching, Ivan's available to follow up quickly with the customer to gather the right details needed to investigate. With the error code in hand, he checks in with Copilot one more time. In a single click, Copilot summarizes the customer issue from the live voice conversation and drafts a response that he can share. It appears the document which Copilot used to formulate this response is the right one, but Ivan knows he can always click through to the source links to verify or make any edits to the response if he needs to. This interaction shows the true power of Copilot. Even as a new support agent, Ivan feels empowered with the knowledge of his entire organization to resolve issues quickly. These are just a few examples of how Copilot in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Customer Service transforms agent productivity and customer experience across all engagement channels. With such empowering innovations, organizations can feel assured that they're earning customers for life.
As you can see, the AI runs across the chat engagement, email engagement, as well as the voice channel. So it's intercepting that conversation as it happening and actually surfacing up information that is helpful, that is supportive to the agent experience on that call. One of the thing I'm going to demo here is something I actually recorded some months ago, but it's around, and why I bring it up, I just recently was engaged with a customer in manufacturing, as in motor vehicle. So one of the big brands, you'll know it, well, you might even drive one of them. They want to improve their customer support experience for their customers. But they don't, as in they're going on a journey. They don't want to do a rip and replace of their entire call center operations. It's too large to do that. The impact would be excessive. And so we're looking at key steps. And one of them is around this whole fraud detection, or not even fraud detection is one part of it. The other bit is knowing that the customer that's on the call is the customer, and without having to go through a know your customer type of experience. And so I'll just show you a quick example of this recording that I did. When the guy I'm talking to actually engages, you'll see that it jumps up in volume level from Michael. Take a listen. About my foreign currency account, I want to make an upcoming transaction and want to make sure my funds have cleared. Can you share any visibility on when it's going to be available? I just want to get a feel of,
Sorry, Mark, it didn't even give you time to finish your request before it matched you. You saw there, within about 2-3 seconds of Mark talking, it's authenticated him. So notice we didn't have to ask any of those KBAs, those knowledge-based authentication questions. Banks at the moment here in Australia are seeing authentication times of about 2 or 3 minutes. That's 2 or 3 minutes of handle time just to authenticate the customer.
Okay, so see what happened there, right? As it was actually 6 seconds, because it actually tracked how long it took before it recognized my voice. But imagine how much cost you could take out of every phone-based process with that authentication technology in place. And that was Microsoft acquired a company called Nuance, and that was part of the IP that come across, which is now tied into and part of the contact center platform. A couple of other things here, just, Microsoft now provide voice as a service across Australia and New Zealand. That means that you can get your voice channel, which would typically in the past come from Genesys or AWS, other providers, you now can get directly from Microsoft and buy those lines and those connections, and they're part of the Azure service that's available to you. And on top of that, right, this technology that I'm showing you, it's not restricted to just first party, in other words, Microsoft's own services. We know that you will have third-party solutions in play, and they can come and be part of that story. I'll give you another quick illustration of this coming together, and then I'll highlight some key things from this video.
Notice how Jacob can keep within the same screen context without needing to jump between applications and still be able to access business data transcript, and take notes. Any business-critical insight mentioned during the call will be highlighted so that Jacob can reach points of interest within seconds. Moreover, any follow-up or commitment made during the call is automatically captured and added to the notes on demand so that Jacob can forget about forgetting. As the call concludes, all of the notes are available for Jacob to review. Within seconds, Jacob is presented with a rich call report summarizing the call's highlights, addressing the varying sentiment throughout the conversation, and enabling playing back of the recording. Jacob can also go ahead and schedule a follow-up for the action items discovered.
Okay, let's take a bit of a detail of what was in that call overview. First of all, you can see exactly who was doing the most talking, when was the switching happened, who was involved in that call as part of that process. If we look here, you're getting a real-time transcription of the conversation as it happens. It's highlighting keywords that AI feels important that should be taken forward. Now, of course, the agent can see this on screen all in real time. At the bottom of the screen, it's actually doing a recording of the actual entire conversation. You can see the breakdown. Who's speaking the most? Is it Jacob or Regina in this example? If we have a look at the highlights section, it's automatically put meta tags on the conversation because now it's going to update the data sets internally around what are calls coming in about. What is the problems? Is it seasonal? Is it unusual? The type of calls that are coming in? Are we missing something? Do we need to take proactive action as an organization? You can see here that tagging, who was involved, timely, etc. At the bottom, you can see the sentiment. Was it positive? Was it neutral? Was it negative? And you've got this playhead there. So the actual recording post-call, you can play back and go, I didn't quite get what it was meaning in the transcription, and you can actually access that information. Finally, what were the action? What were the agreed actions out of the call? Now they've set up a couple of tasks, an email. I can then choose whether I action those. Notice that with Copilot, Copilot's now not about automating everything. It's about assisting the person in the role. It's about coming alongside assisting. So still, Jacob would have the choice around whether to action these various items. I want to show you this story. Now, this is exciting, and this is a real customer story that blows me away about, one, the size, the scale, and the impact it had, and in one of my favorite cities in the world.
At NatWest, we are responding to the needs of all our customers and building a relationship bank in a digital world for all the moments that matter. Our purpose is to champion potential, helping people, families and businesses to thrive.
As one of the UK's leading financial services institutions, our 14,000 frontline colleagues look after 16 million customers across 50 million human customer interactions in our mass market business.
Like all big incumbent banks, NatWest has a vast array of legacy applications and tools. To answer any one customer inquiry will require multiple screens and platforms, switching between different screens, different logins. Colleagues, even when they want to, are not always able to resolve issues at first point of contact. And lastly, a huge amount of time and energy is put into managing these legacy platforms, both cost and risk management.
We needed a cutting-edge customer engagement platform to modernise customer experience across all of our business areas. In the end, Microsoft Business Applications with Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer service at the core was the only clear choice.
The key features we're using in the Microsoft Dynamics product sets are all the pre-built full view of customer screens. That allows us to bring all the right pertinent information about customers in front of a colleague in one place.
We love the modern interface. It's intuitive, it's easy to use, everything has the same look and feel. From our emails to the dashboards, it gives us so much more than our previous system. And one desktop allows colleagues from across business areas to easily manage and execute customer requests.
In NatWest and the mass market business, we have 700,000 appointments that happen every year. Previously, we had 5 legacy applications running these appointments. Where we are now is one application, one set of screens, where colleagues from across the bank are able to book in appointments with each other with ease, and many of the manual processes are now automated.
At NatWest, our transformation is geared towards making us the best of digital and the best of human, where we have the most qualified workforce delivering excellence to our colleagues and customers, increasing customer interactions year on year.
We're well on our way to achieving that, and we couldn't be there without Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer service. It's an exciting time for us.
Okay, as you can see, right, that's an exciting reference customer, very large, probably larger than some of the use cases that we would have across Australia and New Zealand. But as you can see, if you look at this digital contact center platform, it is the combining. We've heard a bit about the Dynamics 365, but it's around unified comms, all those things that you'd have in a contact center, like agent scripts, like recordings, like IVR systems, etc., that also come in from your telephony and your chat, is all about bringing them together to allow you a holistic view where all the data is shareable and usable based on your permissions and your security settings. This use case I want to run through gives you, if you like, the idea of the size and scale of what can be achieved. Now, the use case I'm going to run through is actually Microsoft themselves. And if you take a look at this, how they went through their modernizing of their customer service business of Microsoft globally, right? They had other technologies in place until they made the shift. Let's have a look at the sizing. Tens of thousands of agents, 92 contact centers, 120 countries, 1 billion plus consumers, and 46 languages is what makes up their mix. So why does Microsoft have such massive contact centers? Well, they've got a lot of products in market, right? From D365, of course, their business application suite, Xbox, their gaming, it's arguably the biggest gaming platform in the world. Then they've got Azure and all the services that they offer. Then you've got Office and all the, whether it's the school edition or the home edition, and then Microsoft Teams, right? You've got a lot of customers using a lot of Microsoft technology, and those customers need support. Not everything works all the time. People need assistance, and so therefore Microsoft runs this massive footprint. 145 million plus contacts, 73 million calls, 61.2 million emails, and 11.4 million chats. That's a lot of support, right? Going on right there across their product set, as you can see, across their geography. And when they started, they had all these disparate systems. Some tools were around their contact center with Cisco, Avaya, Nortel, etc. They had different CRM systems, as you can see. The MST means that was an in-house custom build. They had the unified comms platform. They had then your omni-channel experience. So it was disjointed. It created data silos. Different trainings were needed to really offer that best possible customer experience possible. If we look at this over time, they, in 2019, started to modernize. You know what? They identified 16 system plus 500 tools that made up their supports network. In 2020, they implemented Dynamics 365 customer service. Notice not till 2020. They have been using other things up to that point. 2021, Teams collaboration came into the mix. Of course, COVID, well down, Teams grew massively. The funding and investment into Teams, it was crazy, and it brought about a lot of value, particularly in this customer center space. 2022, we talk about AI really coming into play, which leads us to the 2023 experience that we're hearing about a lot now, Copilot. Look at the results that it drove. 32% in self-help, 20% in missed routes, 31% first call resolution increase, and 12% increase in CSAT, right? It's pretty amazing when you start to bring all these technologies and get them to work efficiently together. Well, part of the reason Microsoft in the digital contact center platform has over 1,000 connections to other pieces of software that might exist in your organization. So data can be streamlined in and offer that holistic experience. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over for another video recording here of how this rollout actually happened and went.
There's nothing like solving a problem that just feels a little bit unsolvable.
The scale of our business obviously is an incredible opportunity and quite a challenge. 1 billion consumers, millions of small and medium enterprises, and 10,000 of the biggest customers in the world. As we started our journey, we had over 16 different case management platforms. Any one individual was using hundreds of tools. We had complexity that made our support engineers' lives more difficult. We knew that Dynamics was capable of that kind of scale. We also thought there was an incredible opportunity for us to really demonstrate that to the market, to our customers, and to ourselves.
One of the ways in which D365 really helps our engineers is by consolidating different tool sets into what we call a single pane of glass.
One of the single biggest asks from all of our support engineers was get me consistent tools.
The ability to have everything in one location made their lives a lot easier.
We've seen average handling time reduce. We've seen first call resolution increase. We've seen our customer satisfaction continue to improve. Consumer cases be able to be solved minutes faster, commercial cases often hours or even days faster.
The thing I'm most excited about is how we are bringing AI, specifically in the form of Copilot, into that single pane of glass.
It's called Copilot for a reason, because it sits right next to us and helps us do the things that we need to offload.
It does the things that the engineers don't want to spend their time doing.
We don't necessarily have to do all these things that are massively administratively heavy. Maybe we get to go a little bit deeper into a technology that we didn't necessarily have time for before.
Copilot's incredibly powerful at letting us do what you can imagine.
We're stepping into a whole new universe of what's possible and what's actually something that we can do right now.
The customer is able to provide their intent. We're able to determine that intent. We're able to put it into the system in a way to route it to the right engineer. That engineer is then able to pull that information up on the screen, and leveraging Copilot, they're able to get a good summary and bring knowledge in about the issue that the customer is reporting.
Federating in rich knowledge in the context of the case, given the customer's problem, and putting the right information at the fingertips of a support engineer.
Things that we were not capable of doing yesterday become possible now.
Tell you what, that got me excited. So how do you do it, right? What's the journey? And so we always suggest a phased adoption approach, right? You will see where you are, what's your agent experience? Standardized, we'd say, is that consistent across your contact center experience? Then, how do you scale that? Is self-service, is there an opportunity in that? Are you supporting all the channels that your customers are on, that they're wanting to engage with you on? Do you have an intelligent voice in the mix? In other words, is AI running on all the Omni and the voice channels? And then, of course, evolve. If you have a look at this broken down in a bit of detail, what it looks like is around standardization, right? Those core channels from a customer experience point of view, and then what does that agent experience look like? If you then decide to go to the next level, and this is why it's not just a big bet, it's a multi-year type of approach that you might take. You might not go to the next year if it's not applicable for your business at this time. When we look at scale, it's how do we bring intelligent self-service to the mix? How do we carry out call deflection? How do we provide the information in a consumable format in a way that your customer wants, but it doesn't necessarily need to be on the most expensive channel you offer, which is voice, of course. And then as you go to the next level of expanding and bringing in that omni-channel experience, no matter what it is, it'll be consistent with the customer, and particularly that your agent gets a single pane of glass across all these engagement channels, and then ultimately consolidate up from there, making sure there's no data silos, that all information is shared at the right point in the right process. So what are we doing here? So at IBM, we do contact centers at scale. And so our offer, we would like to assist you in your strategy of moving forward. And whether it's around AI, voice, biometrics, chatbots, we can assist you in doing that. We come in and start often with a review. We can get it co-funded. We look at a technical review. What are your aspirations? What is your logging systems, the logical architecture, engagement channels that you want or are currently using that need modernizing, your CRM maturity, current issues, strengths, what's working well? What do you want to amplify? What could be automated? How could you apply hyper-automation to what you do and create better experience, particularly for your service agents as well as the customer? Voice AI, biometric capabilities, omni-channel, real-time collaboration, contact center KPIs, and the seasonality of call volumes. These are all the kind of areas that we can review with you and understand what you do. If you're running Amazon Connect, we've already built a full connector between that and the DCCP solution from Microsoft. So we've already got this deployed internationally. So if you're running that, and I know a bunch of customers across ANZ do, we can support you there. And with that, I will leave you. I've run over time by 6 minutes, but feel free, reach out. There's my email address, mark.smith@ibm.com, because I don't have anyone support. I'm not actually going to look at questions today. Reach out to me either there or on LinkedIn. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate that you can join me today.